EHS Induction 2023. Welcome to Sankaban ADFORS. Safety, health, and environment are our number one priority. ADFORS Golden Rules. I'm aware and I will always comply with all the work and environmental regulations. I will always wear appropriate and mandatory PPE. I will report all conditions that may compromise my safety and the safety of my colleagues. I will always respect all EHS procedures. I will always have the required permit to work. I will only operate equipment that I am trained and authorized to use. I will keep fire extinguishers, hydrants, manual alarms, corridors, and emergency exits unblocked. I will report all accidents and all environmental, health, and safety concerns. I will use the 60 seconds to think analysis for all non-routine tasks. I will never perform unsafe acts that may compromise my health, my safety, my environment, or others. Mandatory required PPE. Safety glasses, safety shoes, wear high visibility vest or clothing, earplugs when there is noise above 85 decibels. About vehicles. Reverse park. Keep your vehicle's keys with you when not using them. Truck, forklift, mobile platform, etc. Internal parking is allowed for company vehicles with the brand on it, if necessary and agreed upon with the host. Permit must be displayed. Park your vehicle in a proper space, not blocking pathways, emergency exits, extinguishers, etc., and not on grass areas. Respect speed limits, 10 miles per hour at perimeter roads and 5 miles per hour inside the facility. At all areas of the facility, we have vehicles moving. Stop, look, and listen. Steps to run works by contractors in Sankaban. Safety Plus registration approved. Reception of PO or formal confirmation for running a work. Contractor supervisor, host, and EHS organize and develop the prevention plan in order to run a deep analysis. Run the EHS induction for all people needed for running the work, only if they didn't have that within the last 6 months. Execute works following the described prevention plan. If adjustments are needed, inform the host and EHS. Notes: if the work requires work at height, hot work, confined space entry, energized electrical work, energies isolation, or excavation, a daily permit validated with the host will be required. The prevention plan and daily permits should be signed by all contractor supervisors, and he or she has to inform all people involved. Policies. All contractors and subcontractors must follow Sankaban rules and regulations, attend the site EHS induction at least every 6 months, sign in and out of iLobby daily, be prepared for random safety checks, depending on the work, specific additional PPE could be required. Masks, hearing protection, harness, hard hat, chin strap, gloves, etc. PPE required will not be provided by Sankaban ADFORS. No process photographs for visitors or contractors. When using the phone, stop at a safe place, not walking while calling or texting, to do so. No headphones or earbuds allowed on the production floor. Work from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If there's a need to modify the schedule, it has to be agreed upon with the host. Sankaban host must be at the site while the contractor is there too. When there's a trap or rip risk, no loose clothes, strings hanging from clothing, or hoodies. No necklaces, bracelets, watches, loop or hoop earrings, includes earrings placed in the earlobes, eyebrows, nose, lips, cheek, and other body parts. Only a ring smaller than a dime is permitted. Hair longer than shoulder length must be contained in a bun or hairnet. No beard longer than 4 inches is allowed. A beard net or braiding to shorten is permitted. At the working area, you must segregate the area where you will perform the work. It can be using barricades, caution tapes, cones, etc. You must keep the area as ordered and clean as possible. Any waste you generate must be disposed properly by your company. Lone workers should establish a way to communicate with their ADFORS contact to ensure safety and regular checks. Provide your own tools. All tools and equipment must be in good condition, safe, and regularly inspected. For specific equipment, users must be trained. Tools must be appropriate for each task. Flop them when not using. Prevention plan. In order to be prepared to do a thorough risk assessment, you must have a sequential description of tasks or method of work. Using the task description, run the risk assessment with support from your host and EHS. Determine the countermeasures needed to prevent any incident per each task described. Each task might need more than one countermeasure. Daily high-risk permit to work. Work at height, hot work, confined space entry, energized electrical work, excavation, energies isolation. Work at height. Work at heights is considered when it is no longer at floor level and the controls to be implemented are based on the characteristics of each task. Telescopic, scissor, or A-type ladders should only be used to access or retreat from an area. They are not allowed to work on them. If the task requires it or can only be performed with a ladder, the ladder must be of the platform type with a handrail or specific controls implemented. When working on scaffolds, they should have 4-foot-high handrails. If more than 3 scaffold levels are needed, they should be secured, attached, or supports. Requirements: helmet with chin strap, tools with holder system. Depending on the risk, fall protection system can be required, i.e. assembling scaffold, work on a mobile platform such as a scissor lift, etc. Additional countermeasures might be needed according to the risks associated. Hot work. Hot works are operations involving open flames or the production of heat and/or sparks, such as welding, cutting, brazing, grinding, soldering, or torch-applied roofing. A valid extinguisher must be nearby the working area. Monitor for 2 hours after finishing work. Anti-flame curtain, depending on the risks. According to the task, additional PPE might be required, such as face shield, welding mask, mask with shades, anti-flame gloves, fire-resistant apron, gaiters, and sleeves. Confined space. A confined space is a place with no natural ventilation or poor natural ventilation in which one or more persons can perform a specific task inside with limited or restricted means of access or egress and which is not designed to be occupied continuously. The controls needed are constant measurement of gases using a certified device. Depending on the exposure and risks associated, it will be determined whether a positioning system or restraint system is required. Additional countermeasures might be needed according to the risks associated. Energized electrical work. When a worker has the risk to be in contact with voltage elements or enters the danger zone, either with a part of his body or with the tools, equipment, devices, or materials he is handling, controls needed are anti-static reflective clothing, dielectric gloves, dielectric safety shoes with slip resistance and non-skid, dielectric mat, arc-rated long-sleeve shirt and pants or arc-rated coverall, arc-rated face shield or arc flash suit hood, arc-rated jacket, parka, rainwear, or arc-rated hard hat liner. Additional countermeasures might be needed according to the risks associated. Excavations. An excavation is a break in the ground intended for construction. The excavation is carried out after the delimitation or activities of layout, leveling, and stakeout of the area. It is excavated to the depth and width required or detailed in the construction plans. Reflective clothing, helmet, trench shield if needed. Additional countermeasures might be needed according to the risks associated. Excavation may also require a work at heights permit. Energy's isolation. When a source of energy has to be isolated, it is necessary to execute a LOTO or lockout-tagout procedure. All involved people must have been trained on LOTO procedure. Provide workers personal logs. EHS and the area's expert must review that LOTO has been implemented correctly before work can begin. Follow the rule of one person, one lock, one key. Additional countermeasures might be needed according to the risks associated. Chemicals. Chemicals cannot be brought on site unless authorized by the EHS manager, in which case you must provide an updated safety data sheet, or SDS. Approval will be given if the chemical is not classified as CMR. Carcinogenic, mutagenic, or reprotoxic chemicals. Dispose of all chemical waste in your own and correct bins. Do not dispose of anything down the drains, sinks, or toilets. Do not throw liquids in the garbage or empty containers. Injuries. In case of an emergency, first aid and injuries must be reported immediately to your host. Your company is personally responsible for you. Emergency responders are available if needed. Eye wash stations, first aid kits, AED at Phase 1, and other equipment are available if needed. Food, alcohol, and drugs policy. No food at the process area. Only drinks with lids are allowed. No alcoholic drinks. No drugs. No tobacco. Smoking is not allowed on Sonkoban property. No weapons. Evacuation route, Phase 2. In case of an emergency, exit the building and go to the meeting point, a sign located in the field. Evacuation route, Phase 1. In case of an emergency, exit the building and go to the meeting point, a sign located in the field. Thank you.